Welcome to today's video. In this video, I am going to be doing a quick mini reading revolving around why it is that we are getting overwhelmed at the moment. I think there's so much going on in the world collectively, of course, and I think that, I don't know about you, at the moment I've sort of sensed there's this energy where everyone is kind of just feeling quite chaotic and no one knows what's really going on, what's going to happen next. And I get the impression that this isn't just on a global scale, but it's on a personal level as well. You know, we're always going through various changes in our lives, but at the moment it just seems like there's this peak where people are sort of getting overwhelmed and just getting quite stressed out with life in general, and people are starting to have these sort of almost awakenings, if you like, that are saying, what's going on with my life? Where am I? Where do I really want to be? What is it that I'm doing every day that's helping me move more in the direction that I want to be going in? So I just thought that now is a really good time to sort of reflect on that and see what the cards say. So if that is where you are at right now, then of course you found this video not just by chance. I would like you to take a moment to just breathe, take a deep breath, and anything that's been going on for you today so far, any kind of dilemmas or stressful situations, just let it all go for the time being. Just take this moment for yourself and be open and receptive and trust that you are here because you've been guided. And this is your opportunity to get some clarity and some spiritual guidance through these cards that I'm about to pull for you. You can ask a specific question if you'd like. Maybe you're feeling overwhelmed in one particular area of your life, or maybe it's just right across the board and you'd just like to receive a solution or a message that's going to perhaps help you to break free from any sort of struggle or entrapment that you feel you're in right now. Okay, when you're ready, just gently open your eyes. Okay, so I'm going to be pulling 3 cards in total, and one of them is an Angel Tarot card by Doreen Virtue and Radley Valentine. The second deck is by Gabby Bernstein, The Universe Has Your Back. And the third is one of my favourite decks I use all the time, which is Louise Hay's Power Thought cards, which are affirmations. Very, very powerful cards. And what I love about using these decks, especially these 3 in particular combined, is that they all tell a story. They all kind of relate to each other in one way or another, and I started to use them in my coaching videos, so it's quite fun how when I do these little mini readings at the end, the cards are always bang on. They're always bang on, of course, because of the law of attraction. Okay, so I haven't obviously looked at all yet, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to look at all 3 and then start interpreting them for you on your behalf. Okay, so the first card, Gabby Bernstein's card I pulled, is when I'm connected to my joyful presence, I attract support from the universe. So, the first thing that jumps out to me about this card is that your power is always going to be in the present moment. And in every moment, when we do kind of take the time to remind ourselves of where that power and where that feeling of safety and being centered comes from, which is within, everything else kind of comes into perspective, regardless of what it is: chaos, confusion, stress, overwhelm, emotions running high. Just this morning actually, I kind of said to myself, right, I need to make time to meditate because I have a 6-month-old baby. I'm working pretty much full time from home. I have quite a demanding sort of role, in both respects. So I had to sort of take that moment, and I've started to now get into the habit every single day of reminding myself all the time, Holly, you need to take a breather, you need to find time to meditate. And if meditation isn't for you, it works for me in terms of just being able to take a back seat and think, right, I need to just stop and just be for a second. But if that's not something that you kind of feel inclined to do, or it just doesn't resonate, doesn't do anything for you, then there are so many different forms of mindfulness. For example, taking a walk, getting out of the house, having a change of scenery, maybe going for a walk in the park near your office during your lunch hour instead of sitting in the office and having lunch. There's so many different ways that you can connect and just step back and away from the stuff that's creating stress for you. And that is what I feel this card, especially with the circle, is that, and I've just actually had another thought come to me, is that the circle represents infinity and eternity, no beginning, no end. And you can look at that from all different angles, but if you look at it from a personal power point of view, it could represent potentially, the solar plexus. It's even a yellow colour, and the solar plexus is, right here. It's just above our belly and our sort of core, and it's where all of our confidence and our personal power comes from. So being able to really tap into that, which of course is an internal state of being, and just remind yourself that you are in control, you are in charge of whatever's going on for you. That's really important. And when you tap into that more and more and get into the habit of doing that, it just makes everything else feel a lot less intimidating or overwhelming. And the circle as well can also represent, for me, which is the thought that came into my head out of nowhere, was patterns and cycles, and how we all go through these cycles and these changes, but unless we're actively using them to our advantage, we're not going to reap any of the benefits. So that's the first card. And the second card I pulled was Page of Gabriel. Energetic, brave, optimistic, playful. Follow your passion. You are ready for any challenge. Opportunities for excitement and adventure. And that's the card here. Now, with Angel Tarot, I always really look at the imagery, and I really focus on what I interpret by the colours, by the numbers. This one doesn't have a number, but generally speaking, numerology is something that I always kind of like to take note of as well. And the people, of course. And you can see in this card, they're in the desert where it's very hot, so there's a good chance right now that you are under a lot of pressure, sort of feeling the heat, so to speak. And I think I don't feel like this is a relationship, as in a romantic relationship for you right now. I'm kind of sensing that it's work. I got an image when I was talking about that card just now, the first one. I got this image of a stressed out woman in a black business suit, like a skirt and a blazer, like a two-piece business suit, and being in a sort of busy city environment, and there's like this little square outside near her office building, and it's got maybe like a fountain or a little pond or something in the middle, and it's just a square. It's just literally a piece of like a mini parkland sort of area, and there's a few benches around, and there's like a pathway that runs through it. And I really get the feeling that if that message resonates with you, if that relates to you, and you're working in that sort of environment, and there is something like that nearby, you need to spend more time there. And I have a feeling that if you do, you're going to be able to very quickly and easily step out of that stifling kind of busy rush office environment that right now is really having a negative impact on your creativity. That I know that's a very specific message, and if that is for you, if that resonates with you, then this reading is 100% for you, and that was a message that I just received for you on your behalf. So yeah, I don't know if that resonates. Take it or leave it. Don't try and make it fit. But it feels like right now that you're in a predicament where you are being forced to do stuff that you don't really want to do. And every day you're kind of getting swept up in this sort of frantic, crazy, busy, hustle bustle environment, and you just don't want it. You're thinking, I don't want to be here. I don't like this. And it is preventing you from actually doing what it is that you want to do. This card, the Page of Gabriel, is saying follow your passion because you are ready for any challenge, and there are so many opportunities for excitement and adventure if only you give yourself that permission, even just the tiniest amount of permission to start exploring, start stepping out of your comfort zone. Because by stepping out of your comfort zone and doing something different, such as stepping outside of your office and having your lunch in that little park area or somewhere nearby that might be similar for you. I mean, it could be that maybe you do work from home too, and it is simply a case of going out for a walk, or meditating in the morning, or maybe calling one of your colleagues and having a chat with them. Maybe a colleague that you like, that you don't get to see that much of now because you're working remotely. It could be literally anything. It could be having a nap in the afternoon. It could be having your lunch at a different time. There are so many different ways that we can chop and change our routines and do stuff that kind of frees up that energy and gets things moving again in a positive direction, so that momentum can build in a more productive way. Usually what happens for most of us is, even though it's a bit like the war in Ukraine at the moment, watching the news every day can quickly become very addictive, and it can also become very depressing at the same time. And that's how it is for a lot of people at work. I know it might be a bit of a crazy comparison, but it's true in terms of we can get swept up in this stressful, I haven't got time to meditate, I haven't got time to, take 2 minutes for myself. I've got so many things to do. I've got 28 deadlines that, are just coming out of my ears, and I don't know where to begin, and I just know I need to crack on, and I can't take a moment for a breather. That can be a habit that we get sucked into so quickly, and the more we do it, the more we kind of attract those situations through the law of attraction, right? And that part of us that is feeling completely squashed and stifled and just like, oh my god, I need to break free, I need to have some fun, I need to have some freedom, that inner child that wants to play, that wants to have fun and excitement in life, just is starting to be smaller and smaller. That inner voice that wants to break free is just being shut out. So the way to kind of reconnect with yourself and that part of you, which is where all of your creativity comes from, all of your passion, all of your zest for life, the way to do that is to literally take a moment for yourself. And that's when the ideas will come, that's when the inspiration will come. If you're in a job role right now that doesn't feel like there's any kind of room for you to be able to break free, whether it be internally or you want to jump ship completely and go and do something different, you want to switch careers, but you're feeling stuck because of money, and you're like, well, I can't go out and train, and I can't do any of what I want to do because I've got the bills to pay, and I can't blah 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 blah. And it's that sort of dialogue right now. Just doing something different, even if it's completely unrelated to your job, to this passion that you have, this creativity, or maybe you don't even know what that is. Doing things differently will switch up the energy, and it will encourage new energy to be ushered in, and from there, positive vibes and new ideas and inspiration. That is what this card is all about. And ironically, Gabriel, Archangel Gabriel, is the archangel of communication and creativity. Okay, so just to clarify that card a little further for you, I'm going to read out the definition according to the book. I usually start off by just using my own intuition and my own divine team to kind of help me, but I always like to back it up with the official meaning from the book. So it says, situation, you're ready to follow your passion. Opportunities for excitement and adventure are headed your way. This is something that you've prepared for and have been hoping would happen. You may feel as though you're not quite ready, but you truly are. Get out there and show everyone how amazing you are. People, an energetic and extroverted person who's exuberant and willing to help. Someone who loves a challenge and brings youthful optimism to all he or she does. Brave, charming, creative, optimistic, certain, active, playful. Additional meanings: career advancement, taking a chance, confidence, and embracing life. See, so that comes back down to that point I mentioned about the inner child, and really connecting with that part of you that is fearless, that just wants to have fun and isn't worried about deadlines or having to do everything for everyone else. It's about doing something for you. And third and final card, which is Louise Hay's Power Thought card for you for today, for this week maybe, is I express my creativity. So it's a double-sided card. So that's the front, I express my creativity, and then the back says, my unique and creative talents and abilities flow through me and are expressed in deeply satisfying ways. My creativity is always in demand. So see, that comes back to, if you feel like you're stuck and you're in a job that is just not helping you mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, financially, creatively, and you're like, well, where do I go from here? Your creativity is always going to be in demand. So whatever it is that you have to bring to the table in any context, there are so many people out there who are looking for exactly what it is that you have. Don't be afraid to start looking elsewhere. Don't be afraid to sit down and think about the sort of job that you want. don't be nervous about putting yourself out there, having conversations with friends or, people who you think might be able to give you more information, give you some more guidance and wisdom in terms of, practical sort of steps and just general knowledge, about your options. Don't be afraid to take those steps and make those bold moves, because you've got nothing to lose. We're all creative beings, and it could be maybe that you don't believe you are creative. Maybe you feel that the role that you would love to be doing in that particular field, just, you're not talented at. Well, there's a good chance that it is something of a natural ability that you're not aware that you're good at because you're so good at it, if that makes sense. And what I mean by that is, when we are very talented at stuff, we don't realize that we're talented, and the reason we don't realize is because it comes effortlessly to us. It's so easy, and it's only when other people look at us and say, wow, you're really good at writing, or you're so good at cooking, how did you learn to do that? And you just say, oh, I don't know, it's just something I've always been able to do. That's because it's no big deal, because it comes so naturally to you. So really start to look at ways you can express that creativity. And if you're not sure what that is, that particular skill, that's why it comes back down to taking the time to spend with you. When I'm connected to my joyful presence, I attract support from the universe. In other words, those ideas and those inspirations will come to you when you're doing stuff that you love. And usually the stuff that you love is the stuff that you are naturally good at. And you're just, the interest and the passion is naturally already there. So give yourself permission to do that more, so that you can receive the support from the universe that you're wanting. And in terms of, taking those steps, taking that leap of faith, having that excitement and that adventure that you're looking for, that will naturally start to flow, because you will be in that energy, stepping away from the stress, the overwhelm, the confusion, and that feeling of I'm stuck and I don't know how to progress. Okay? So this, I express my creativity. Use this as your affirmation for the next week or so. Until my next video, use this affirmation: I express my creativity. This is a power thought card. In other words, it is a superpower affirmation that you can use. And what happens with affirmations is, the more you start to use them, when you find yourself, say, stressing about your job and thinking again the same sort of habitual thoughts of I'm stuck and there's just no point, how am I going to cope, I'm overwhelmed, I don't know what to do, I hate my job, blah blah blah. When you intercept that trail of thought with I express my creativity, my future is glorious, I have so much to look forward to, adventure, excitement's coming my way. When you start to interrupt it with more positive reinforcement and dialogue, new neural pathways start to be created in your brain. That is a neurological fact. So use this as your new best friend. Use it as your anchor. Okay, when you hear and feel that inner dialogue that's negative seeping in, interrupt it. Use I express my creativity, or whatever affirmation you want. Find your own. But if you're not sure of which one to use, go with this one. Okay, so I hope today's video has helped. Thank you very much for watching. If you would like to know more about me and get a little more of a taste of my work and what I do, then please check out my free gift, 7 Days to Fun and Freedom. I'll leave it in the link below. It is a 7-day email series, and you can get every day a practical action step that will help you on your way to just replace those little negative habits that you might have become stuck in over the years, that are blocking you from enjoying life. Okay, so until next time, thank you very much for watching. Lots of love, take care, and I will speak with you again very, very soon.